is here.
Hi, everyone.
Yep.
Hey, so this might be a terrible analogy, but you know, when stuff's like really hard and then you kind of go back to something remotely normal, it seems a lot easier. Can you make that analogy with the catching last year and now not having that on your plate this year, or am I stretching?
No, I think last year with the amount of like, it was like schoolwork, I should say. The amount of schoolwork I had to do, the amount of preparation, studying, and just watching baseball and being engaged in what other teams are doing really took a toll on my own success. You know, I was, as a catcher, the first person that you need to, you know, really take care of is your pitcher. You get paid off how your pitchers do. So I took their career and put it in front of mine. So I think this year being able to kind of just sit back and take care of myself first, really helping me help the team in ways that I wasn't able to last year.
How too has that been enabled you to be as versatile as you are without having to go behind the dish, just within the infield?
It just helps my mind. It helps me stay fresh. You know, there's nights last year where I just couldn't sleep at night. Just, you know, I was just too nervous, kind of scared in a way, just because I was doing something that I wasn't able to do. You know, being in the infield is something that I've done my whole entire life and something that I'm ready for at this level, I should say, which I'm also able to catch at any level as well. But I think just from a preparation standpoint, having my whole career at you know, playing in the infield was really helping me, rather than catching. I only had a AA. So having one level and having my whole life's success and whole life's work translated into one position or positions in the infield, you know, is really helping me.
So in watching this game for a long time and being in a clubhouse and seeing how kind of things work just from a third party perspective, you oftentimes see the guys who are producing that other guys will gravitate towards them, whether they're vocal, whether they're, you know, offering up information or insight. You're one of those guys this season that is producing. So have you seen a gravitation toward you from younger players or otherwise that are kind of gravitating toward you more?
I feel like just last year when I was catching, people were gravitating towards me in different ways, more so of, you know, knowing signs and whatnot. But this year I got, you know, the younger guys coming up to me a little more, asking me questions, just even especially Solak. Me and Solak have a good thing going. And we just kind of talk about, you know, this is his first time I'm playing Seattle. So he'll come up to me, ask me questions about, you know, how the field would play, if the batter's eye, if you're able to see, and, you know, the little things like that. But for the most part, everybody, you know, kind of knows what's going on. It's more so of just things that they're not familiar with.
Is there a part of you that wants to take more, you know, ownership of this thing and maybe take more of an active role in that regard? Not that you aren't already.
I just want to help the team win. And if it means me stepping up and being a vocal guy on the team, then that's what I need to do. But we got great veterans like Elvis, Chu, Frazier, Dietrich coming along, Rugi, Danny. So those guys are kind of been the guys that I looked up to the whole time. So for the younger guys to come to me, it means a lot.
Thanks.
Other questions, please. For Kiner. CJ.
Hey, Izzy, a couple questions, man. The stance adjustments that you have made, a little bit taller is what we were kind of told, some things that you were working on. Now that you're almost 85 plate appearances into this season, how would you say those adjustments are playing out for you?
So far, so good. I like what I'm doing. I like what I'm feeling in the box. Still not getting the results I want. You know, I need to drive the ball a little more. I think the biggest adjustment for me is not having my fallbacks at the same fallbacks as I used to. Having my open stance. Since AA, I think I was able to make adjustments based off how I felt. And I think, you know, as the season progresses and my body changes and things go on, I don't have the same fallbacks, I should say. I remember when I was open, whenever I would struggle, I'd look for the 4-hole. You know, now being up and just having a totally different stance, I'm kind of finding those new keys and those new adjustments that I need to have. So teams are kind of finding that, and it's taking me a little longer than I would like to make the adjustments. But I think for this being the first year with that stance and what I'm doing at this level, there's a lot more that I could do. But to be where I'm at, I'm really excited.
One of the things I think I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, with your back foot, you almost have that kind of scissor thing that Altuve does. Were you doing that last year, or is that part of this adjustment also?
So last year I was stepping across my body and just like I was a mess. I was so tangled up, being so open to being so close. I think just being square is the main component of everything right now, and being able to make that scissor kick and not roll over and keep it in the air has been a big adjustment. You'll still see me fall back into the old things, and I'm having a lot of swing and misses on those pitches right now. But, as like I said, it's only in a normal season, you get 400, 500 ABs. So I just got to make those adjustments a little quicker.
All right, cool. Hey, last one real quick on your pitches per plate appearance. We talk about it a lot. You attack early. You seem like you don't wait around very long. There's no good or bad way, right? I mean, you have the lowest number on the team. That's not a bad thing necessarily. I'm just curious from the mental side, that the place that you've gotten to that you don't get deep in counts, that you prefer, it seems like, to put the ball in play early. Where does that come from? What's kind of the game plan in that regard for you?
Coming from what I did last year, I know my rookie year, I think I was a little more aggressive. Last year, I think I barely swung first pitch. So coming into the season, knowing that teams still had that information, I knew I was going to get a lot of good pitches early. So, within that first month, I said, I'm going to be very aggressive until the other teams make the adjustment, and they've made the adjustment. So it's time for me to make that change back. I was getting a lot of first pitch cookies last year, but since my legs were so tired, I was like, I'm just going to rest, take that pitch off, and kind of battle my way back. So just having that mentality and knowing teams were going to attack me, because teams still didn't think I was a threat. Early in the year, they're just giving me cookies, and I made them pay. Just didn't get the ball to the ballpark like I would like to. But being aggressive was definitely part of my game plan to get off to a hot start this year.
TR?
Isiah, Todd Frazier's from New Jersey, and you can tell he's from New Jersey, and he brings a New Jersey attitude to his game and to his character. My question to you is, you're from Hawaii. What is it about being from Hawaii that is a part of you, is part of your character, and it's part of you as a baseball player?
Say grit. I think being from Hawaii, we always feel like we're overlooked, no matter what the circumstances. And the one thing about being from Hawaii is there's always room for improvement. There's crazy sports surfing, body surfing, and there's a lot of sports and things that people don't like to do. But I think that just being from the islands and wanting to do things that, they're out of the box, I should say, really give me that sense of just wanting to get better, having that great attitude, and always keeping a chip. I think that's the main thing I bring.
What out of the box stuff do you do in Hawaii?
I got into body surfing. I feel like I could be professional at that. Bodyboarding as well. I really want to get into surfing, but I know it's bad for the knees, so that's going to have to wait. But it's like almost like I take these other things on, and I honestly feel like I could be a professional at them. So just having that mentality in everything I do and wanting to be the best, I think that just comes from, how I grew up and how my parents taught me.
How strongly, I guess, is it important to you to uphold the pride of Hawaii in the major leagues?
Yes. It's a huge opportunity. And, in the minor leaguers from Hawaii had a bad past. I think everybody thinks that, we always get in trouble, punks, this and that. So for me to do what I'm doing and to be on this platform and to kind of just show everybody from our state that, anything's possible, and, trying to just sway them in a direction can give them success.
What neighborhood were you from in Honolulu, or are from in Honolulu?
I grew up in Kapahulu. It's kind of by near Waikiki.
What high school were you supposed to go to if you had not gone?
I was supposed to go to, Roosevelt High School, but I ended up going to a private school, Mid-Pacific.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's good, John Blake. Thank you.
Other questions for Kiner real quick. We'll go to Chris and then Alex.
Just one quick one. You've you started off the season playing a lot of third, and now with Elvis on the IL, it looks like you're going to get an extended look at shortstop. What position in the infield are you most comfortable at?
I think at this point, anywhere on the left side. I'm comfortable anywhere, but I think with the new generation of baseball and the shifts going on, instead of being so position oriented, I think it's more of just fielding a ground ball. You see Manny Machado last series play third base, but he's over there moving over all the way to second base. So Elvis has been playing shortstop, but with all the lefties, he's actually been playing almost like a mid-second base behind the pitcher. And I was kind of being the shortstop, if you think about it that way. So it's all based on, positioning. So there's no difference for me. It's just where we're positioned.
All right. Thank you.
Alex, and then Evan, and then I got to let him go. Go ahead, Alex, then Evan.
Isiah, what kind of influence has Todd Frazier had on you?
He's had a huge influence on me. I think in the past, everything was a little uptight. I wouldn't say uptight, but just you want to be successful. And having a guy like Frazier who's been successful in this league, but also has the amount of fun that he has, it shows you that there's two sides of it. Playing with AB was very serious, but he was, he's a Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever play. So I think seeing both sides of it, a guy very serious and a guy who's, always having fun and always keeping it loose, just lets the players kind of be like an in-between, takes pressure off everybody, keeps everybody loose, especially when it's coming from a vet like that. It really loosens everything up.
Thank you.
Evan?
Isiah, you and Jose came up through this organization together. Jonathan Hernandez came up in the organization kind of similar time. I feel like you guys all kind of have a very similar attitude and approach to the game. How would you describe it, and what does it say about anything that you may have gotten out of this player development system?
Yeah, I think, we came from a standpoint where I just feel like we were always the organization that was overlooked. You got your prospect ratings, this and that, but you look at our prospect ratings, and we were, we weren't they were prospects. I wasn't a prospect, but you look at, how they judged all 30 teams, and I think we were almost 30 every year. Like we were always like the look down on organization, especially with Brinson leaving and, all the trades that we made. Everybody just kind of counted us out. So just to kind of remember that we were that team that was all the way back, and we're in the big leagues, and you look at, I don't want to say anything bad, but you look at guys from other organizations that were higher, higher prospects, and to see where they are and compare us to them, it kind of just gave us motivation and makes us happy when you look at it in that way, see where other guys are and where we are.
And we've compared this before. You've talked about the commonality between Jose being a Mexican American and you being a white American, but as players, what's the commonality there? As approach, I guess.
Grit. We just want to get better. We want to win. We'll do anything it takes to win, and yeah, we're not settling for second. And if you look at Jose's resume, he's won a championship at almost every level in the minor leagues and 2 Gold Gloves. So he brings that pedigree, and I saw what he brought, and I wanted to be just as good as him. So we roomed together in spring trainings, and because I wanted to see what he was doing, you see. We're the 2 hardest workers, I felt like, not including Solak. This is before he was here. And just kind of feed off each other, and he pushes me and I push him.
Great, Izzy. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, that will do it for
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Izzy.
All
That
right.
will do it for